Hello, small business heroes. Welcome back to another episode of Small Business PR, where we make marketing and PR super accessible to the everyday business hero. So email. You've heard me talk about it. And for those of you who are listening, you might be like, why is Gloria always talking about an email list? I don't have one. Whether you have an email list or you don't have one, or you have a list of 10,000 people, this episode is a must listen. Today, I have one of my favorite copywriters of all time, email strategist to some of the titans of the industry, Eman Ismail, and also a personal friend of mine. I've also been on her podcast. She's going to be talking about the 3 email sequences every founder needs if you want to make more sales this year. So welcome to the show, Eman.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Super excited to be here.
So you have written emails for the industries, like people that we know who have 7, 8-figure businesses. Why do you think that email is something that people should prioritize, even if they, let's say, make a product or they say, well, I'm more of an Instagram girl, let's say. What do you have to say to them?
I think email is really important because it's a fantastic way to basically create a connection with your people. And while social media is also great for that, yes, you're kind of a bit of a slave to the algorithm. If the algorithm works for you, then it really works for you, which is great. But when it doesn't, it really doesn't. And so you have no way of controlling who sees your message and when they see a message. Whereas with email, you know that when you send an email through your email marketing, that the people who sign up to receive your emails will actually get those emails. So you have a much better chance of actually just being in front of the people who want to hear from you, who have opted in to hear from you. And then you get to share your message, spread your values, your work, your expertise, your authority, whatever it is that you want to share, you get to. And so I think the intimacy and the connection that email creates is really valuable. And I say intimacy because even though when we're writing an email, we write it to the thousands of people on our newsletter, right? But the truth is, every single person is reading that email as an individual. And so people think of email as a one-to-many platform, and I really think of it as a one-to-one platform. It's really a platform for you to create a one-on-one relationship. It's valuable in that way. And of course, everybody carries their email on their phones now. The majority of people do. And so I liken it to having someone's number today. It's as personal and as private as that. You can access them anytime, any place. They carry you around in their pocket. And so it's a very personal, a very intimate medium. And when you can make the most of it, it can be very valuable and profitable for your business.
Yeah, I mean, the industry titans can be wrong, right? If we look at the most successful people in the industry, they're always saying the more emails you send, the more money you make. And I know that for me and you and everyone that we know, we're spending most of our time trying to build our list because 1, it's first party data. So you own it. You never know when the algorithm is going to kick you off or ban you or you can't log in. It's happened to all of us. Mm-hmm. So it is the most valuable, I think, piece of data you can have. And actually, if you are looking to either sell your business or get sponsorships, they actually don't really care about your followers because everyone can buy a follower, but they want to know how many people do you have on your list. It is a much higher way of conveying the leverage that you have over your audience and the value that you provide. But since you've been on the other side of it, like writing emails for people with, 6, 7-figure businesses, why don't you tell our audience, why is it so true that the more emails that you send, the more money you make? Because I know already people are like, I'm just not a writer, or I know we should send more emails, but then I look at the unsubscribes and we just need to just really crush that belief right now. So I want you to help us do some mindset work. Why should we not be afraid of the unsubscribes? Why should we send more emails?
Well, I can attest to this personally, not just because I've done this work for clients, but I also did it for myself with my own email list as well. Because I experiment with my own email list before even I experiment with my clients, right? And then what's working for me, I will then implement for my clients. I went from sending 1 email a week to sending 3 emails a week, 3. And I have never made more passive income from my email list than I do today. It's insane. Yes, I have a higher unsubscribe rate because, of course, the more emails you send, every email will get an unsubscribe. First of all, just like there is no such thing as like a 0% unsubscribe rate. Everyone gets them. And then, of course, the more emails you send, the more unsubscribes you'll get simply because you're sending more emails. And so First of all, unsubscribes are totally okay. That's just someone saying like, okay, this isn't for me. I'll probably never buy from this person. Let me just save everyone's time and unsubscribe. Often it's really not even that. Often it's just like people like, let me clear my inbox. Let me, just tidy up some of the messages that are coming my way. It's a lot. People are getting a lot of emails, but because people are getting a lot of emails, it's important that your emails are coming out on top, that your emails are the emails that people are opening. And it's important for you to stay top of mind. So when I have clients or even just leads, people who come to me and say, hey, I want you to write my emails, but I only want an email a month. Or if they're sending an email a month, for example, I won't work with them, because the reality is that there's not much I can do for you on one email a month, because I know the more emails you send, the more money you will make. And when you send one email a month, you're giving people the chance. You're giving them 29 days to forget about you. And then they remember you for one day, and then they forget about you for another 29 days. Or 30 days. So it's really important that you're sending emails regularly so that you're staying top of mind. Often, the majority of people aren't going to buy from you every single time you send an email. It's not about that. It's about being the first person they think of when they do need whatever it is that you do, or when they do want to buy whatever it is that you offer. And so, yes, unsubscribes are painful. I know, I get it. And I'm the person who tells everyone unsubscribes are fine. It's still painful because it feels personal. But when you can detach yourself from that feeling and just remind yourself every time, like it's not personal. Think of the number of emails that you unsubscribe from. Is it ever personal for you? It's just not, right? So if you can just get past that, if you can detach that feeling of rejection, because that's what it is, and understand that no one's rejecting you. It's not about you. It's just life. And actually focus on the people who are opening your emails, who are enjoying your emails, who are buying from you. Because I promise you, once I saw that more people are buying my stuff than ever because I was sending more emails, what do? You send more emails. You forget about the unsubscribes. I'm going to keep sending more emails. So that's what I've seen, not just for the 6-7 plus figure business owners that I'm working with and writing emails for, but also for me as someone who, by the way, my email list is pretty small. I think I'm on 2,400-ish subscribers now. And that's also because I cull my list quite frequently. So I'm really getting rid of those cold subscribers and making sure I'm prioritizing a healthy list over a big list. Why? Because when you have a healthy list, more engagement, more conversions, more buyers. And so this stuff works even for people who don't have tens of thousands of subscribers on their email lists.
It's so funny that you said you have 2,500. I worked with someone who had 5,000 on their list, and they don't even have an email strategy. And they're focused on, Gloria, I need a social media person. And I was like, you are looking at the wrong problem. I think so much of our success that we create is knowing what is the next right problem to solve. And often we're solving the wrong problem because we're bought into this culture of we all got to be on Instagram, but we are not here to be creators. Let's be honest. How are you actually getting those people off Instagram, which is a very low touch thing because anyone can just browse. That doesn't mean they're ever going to buy from you, to something that's a little bit higher commitment, which is giving them your email address. And I love what you said about not being afraid, because I say this all the time. Everything that you want is on the other side of the send button. And so just like you with emails, just like my students and my clients with sending pitches, you gotta keep pressing that send. And also raise your hand if you've ever signed up for something. Let's say for example, I love chai, and you get busy and you forget. And then I get an email from them and it's here's this autumn's best chai recipes. And I was like, oh my God, yes. And I actually I put in an order, and not only did I put in an order for it because I was reminded of it and the ways that I could use chai in my baking and my cooking, I actually subscribed to a yearly subscription. So it went from them making no money from them making hundreds of dollars from me because they reminded me. So maybe we can look at it a different way where it's you're not bugging people, you're just reminding people.
Exactly.
And also I posted a carousel post that got so many likes, and it was don't be afraid to put your business out there, because H&M texted me 37 times last week.
Thanks, H&M. No, it's so true though. It's really true. And actually you reminded me of this sticker company that I first bought from when my son was starting nursery. And so he would have been about 1 when he was starting nursery, and I bought these stickers, just like a name label so I can stick his name on like everything so that it doesn't get lost. And I signed up to their emails. And at one point I remember thinking, oh, I should really unsubscribe from their emails now because I really don't need anything from them. And I thought, no, because I'm probably going to need stickers again soon. And at one point, and when I do, I don't want to be searching all over the place trying to find a company. I just want this company. So I stayed on that email list for 3 years. And then when it was time for my son to start school, I bought from the same company because I was on that email list. And that's what it's about. It's about, again, being there so that when your subscriber is ready to buy from you, you are there. You're top of mind. You're the first person or company they think of.
Yeah, I really think of it like a visual metaphor, kind of like a bus that has a route, right? You're going to pick up people and people are going to get off. But once you make it the rounds again and again, you never know when they're going to come again. Some people need to take a detour. Some people need to hop off early. That's fine. But when you make your rounds again, they might come on again. So don't think of it as this like linear thing. I have myself unsubscribed from email lists and then resubscribed and bought something. But what matters is how many times are you getting in front of them? It's really this competition for attention. And we know as an empirical fact, when people give you their email, it means that they have a much higher chance of ever buying from you than just following you on Instagram. That is absolute plain fact, like gravity. Let's talk about we have a lot of product makers as well. I know you worked with both e-commerce and coaches, but I want to talk about like for product makers, which, cause for online coaches, we know that we need emails, but I think a lot of times people who make physical products, this is the pot of gold that they are literally like bypassing. They're literally overlooking this pot of gold, which is your email list. So how can people get started and maybe work smarter and not spend all your time on social media, but really email your list? Like what are some things that product owners can do like today to start generating income from their email list?
Okay. The first thing I will say is, again, like you just said, I've worked with coaches, course creators, service providers, and I've worked with a lot of product business owners. And it is so much easier to make money from your email list as a product business owner because you are literally sitting on customers who are just so willing and excited to buy from you, And so the first thing you want is a welcome sequence. And when I'm talking to product business owners, I call a welcome sequence. I'll explain what that is in a second, but I call it a moneymaker email sequence because for product business owners, it's a moneymaker without a doubt, as in it's one of the smartest things you can do when you first set up your email strategy. It's a little bit harder for service providers, coaches to make money from a welcome sequence. For them, it's more of a nurturing sequence. It's about building connection and authority. It can make you money, but not always. But for the product business owner, it will always make you money. So here's how you want to go about this. First of all, a welcome sequence is a series of automated emails that goes out immediately upon subscription. So someone subscribes to your email list and they are entered into this series of emails that goes out over the course of, say, a week, for example. Now, what some business owners might have in place is one welcome email that goes out and says, like, thanks for joining my email list, or like, here's the discount code. And then that's it. You don't hear from the business again at all, or they go straight into a newsletter. So they'll receive like the next weekly newsletter, for example. And that's a problem. Both of those strategies are a problem because you are not capitalizing on the excitement that someone has when they first join your email list. So their excitement, their curiosity peaks the moment that they join your email list. And so you really want to make the most of that. You want to take advantage of it. So you send the first email, which is usually whatever you promised that you were going to give them so that they would sign up to your list, whether that was like a gift guide or a discount code, whatever it is. That's what the first email is dedicated to. Absolutely. But then after that, you send them another email the next day. The next day, maybe you're introducing the founder or yourself or the story behind the creation of your business. Like, what is it that they'll connect to or find interesting? So for example, I bought something for a friend of mine who's going through something. It was like a gift box. And one of the emails that this company sent me, it was a small business. One of the emails they sent me was about the fact that they were sisters, 3 sisters running this business. This is our names and this is who we are. And it was just such a lovely email. And I love the sense of like, we're a family business with three sisters who are running a business together. Sophie, X and Y. And he was like, I really like you. I'm going to buy from you again because I want to support these three sisters. And that's how what an impact just one email like that can make, a connection email. So that might be your second email. Your third email might be, an introduction of your best-selling products. Like you're literally sending your best-selling products over to your subscribers and saying, these are our best sellers. This is what everyone loves buying. Go check them out. And so you know that if a lot of people are buying the one product, two products, three products, then other people are probably going to want to know about that. So you're really just like speeding up their buying process so that they don't have to like go search, go research, wait for it to pop in front of them on an ad or wherever else. You're literally sending it to them directly in their inbox. Your fourth email might be, it might be a category. So if you like sell beauty or like skincare stuff, maybe you want to focus on, I don't know, your like eco values, or maybe your eco specific products, so you can give it a theme and get people excited about that theme. If you know that there are things that people are really your customers are really passionate about, you dedicate an entire email to it. Another email might be about your values and your philosophies. So say, for example, you do sell skincare. Maybe one of your values is that all your products are eco-friendly. You definitely want an email about that because that is about getting people behind your mission. And that is as much of a powerful buy-in kind of persuasion and tool than anything else. You want people to be behind your mission to support your business. And so the welcome sequence is about educating your audience and your subscribers about who you are, what you do, why you do it, and also putting the right products in front of them at the right time. And so it's a really great sequence to kind of walk them around your business and say, like, this is why you're going to start off. And then next you're going to go here. And then next we want you to know this because this is going to make you feel this. And then now we're going to take your hand and guide you towards this. And you get to choose what they need to know. But the important thing is that you put that information in front of them and you give them the opportunity to buy from you.
Yeah, I think the journey is so clear to me, right? It's like get them while the excitement is hot, right? When they're subscribing, walk them through, show them who you are and how you're different, because we know that customers want to see who's behind the product. We know that like indie brands are all the rage, shop small. I think one thing that I'm thinking of, people are like, well, that's great and all, but how do you strike the balance between selling and like putting the offer in front of them, and then just maybe some people would just go into like who they are, but then they are shy about selling. So how do you navigate that for people who are like, I just want to talk about me, but maybe I'll put it in a tiny little text that you can buy from me?
Well, if you're a product business owner, every email should have your products in them. Every email should be a sales email, because this is why people are signing up to your list. They know you're a business. They know you sell products. They want to know what your products are. And so if you're not putting your products in the email, you're actually doing a disservice to your customers, because they want to know what you're selling. Like, they might not always buy it, but that's not the point. The point is not like, I want you to put this in front of me because I'm going to buy it today. The point is, I want you to put it in front of me so that I can see what my options are, right? And so that's what your job is to present them with the options, and then they get to decide to do whatever it is that they want to do. And so I like to see selling as a service, instead of selling as being like pushy or like overly salesy, especially in email. When your subscriber has signed up for you, like they have opted in to hear from you and about your products. So with this, every email should have your products in it. Every email should be a sales email, but you can do it in a way that doesn't feel like really pushy. And you can do it in a way that is interesting and engaging, where maybe you have like a slight intro before you go into the sale, or you show them your products, or maybe you have a theme that only has maybe a couple of lines of copy, but it's like funny or clever copy that engages them before you introduce them to the products. There are so many kind of different ways that you can do it in a way that doesn't feel uncomfortable. But the interesting thing is, I mean, again, I've worked with so many products business owners, and they always tell me that they might struggle to send emails, but what they've noticed is when they do send specifically sales emails, they see the sales come in. And so then they come to me because they're like, hey, Eman, I know this works. I need you to make it work more for me. Like, just make it work more.
Okay. I love this. This is so brilliant. So you talked about the welcome sequence, why that is so key. Now let's talk about the second and third email sequences for people to make money. I'm talking about like this week.
Okay, so the second one is the abandoned cart sequence, which is very well known, but I feel like a lot of business owners do it wrong or not as well as they could. So with an abandoned cart sequence, generally what you see is like people will put a product in their cart and then they'll get an email that says, hey, you forgot something in your cart. And then that's it. Or they'll send that same email, hey, you forgot something in your cart, over and over and over and over again. And so here's the thing about that. If it didn't work the first time, it's not going to work the second time. So you don't want to just keep sending the same email over and over again. And the other thing is, again, some people only send in one email one time and that's it. And that's also not enough. The third thing is that the messaging is usually off, because often it's not that they forgot. They didn't forget. There's some kind of objection or hesitation that came up that stopped them from buying. Like, yes, there are some cases in which someone, like goes away from the computer or is distracted or whatever else. Yes, that happens. But the majority of the time, there's a specific objection or hesitation that crops up and that makes you feel like, I'm not sure about this. So you walk away. And so what you want is an abandoned cart sequence, a series of emails, not just the one abandoned cart email, that can guide your subscriber through the potential hesitations or objections. And definitely don't offer a discount in the very first email, because that's what a lot of people do. And actually, a lot of the time you can get a good number of sales without offering the discount in the first abandoned cart email. So, don't give away your money where you don't have to. So let's hold off on the discount. The first email, figure out what your biggest hesitation is for your subscribers, for your customers. Like, why might they not buy a thing? So for me, I was buying this potted clay kind of experience. They send you a box of clay and some equipment with it, so you can do it at home and have a fun date night. I had it in my cart, but it was 100 euros, 120 euros. And so I had it in my cart. I left, I went away. They sent me the email, which of course was, hey, you forgot something in your cart. And immediately, email strategist, I'm thinking, no, I didn't. I left it in my cart because I don't know if I want to spend 120 euros on clay. So I was thinking to myself, imagine if they sent me an email that was like, hey, we know that you're thinking about buying this thing. Here are all the reasons you should. Here are some fun, totally user generated images of photos of people who have had fun clay nights with their friends or a fun clay date night. Have a look at these two. They had such a great time. And here's another picture of a group of friends who got together and had a fun clay night. How much more persuasive would that have been for me? The FOMO would have just been like, oh my gosh, I want to have that fun. Let me go back to the cart and buy it. And so that's the first thing is, think about the messaging that you're putting out and the positioning of the first abandoned cart email. You want to focus on what probably the biggest hesitation is, and then try to help your audience overcome that hesitation. The next email is going to be the next biggest hesitation, because often there's more than one. So think about what the next biggest thing is that is usually stopping your customers from buying. And then in the third email, if they still haven't bought, that's when you can bring in the discount and say, we really want you to experience this. We'd love to give you this discount code. This lasts for however long you're going to allow it to last for. And so don't bring in the discount code until right at the end, if you do it at all, because there are various things you can do before you even get to that point where you're offering them money off.
Oh, I love that. That's so good. We're going to have to listen to this episode over and over again. So the first one is welcome sequence. Second one is a great abandoned cart using persuasion and not just, reminders of the same kind. And then what's the third one?
The third one is the post-purchase sequence. So this is really interesting because this isn't necessarily one that is going to make people buy from you. You're not putting your products again in front of people. But what this is doing is it's creating a really great seamless post-purchase experience so that your customers have a really just great time with you and a great, a great feeling from buying from you, and so that they come back again and recommend you to their friends and their family and that kind of thing. So this is where, you know, your confirmation email goes out, your order confirmation, your order has been shipped, emails, like this is that sequence. Now, between those emails, what you want is to create a great experience. And so things like, if there are care instructions for your products, if there's something that your customers need to do to take care of their products, this is the place to tell them. If you have something that you put in your packaging that tells your subscribers, that tells your customers how to use your product, this is also a great place to introduce that in your email sequence. Because remember, a lot of people will get the box and they'll throw the stuff in the bin. And this was happening with one of my clients, actually. She had care instructions inside her products. When you get the box, open it, you're supposed to read the instructions. Most people didn't. And then they would send emails to her complaining or asking for a refund. And these were like literally tiny, minuscule issues that weren't even, they were non-issues had they just read the care instructions. And so what we did is we turned that into an email. We let them know this is how to best take care of your product, or this is how to best use your product so you get like the best effects, and also that it's like most enjoyable. And, you know, so you can love it, and here are the instructions. And with that, my clients saw fewer emails from people who were angry, annoyed, frustrated, who wanted a refund, who didn't understand kind of what was going on, who thought that their product was not working and asking for a replacement. And finally, people were starting to understand how to use it and how to take care of it. And so that's the first thing. And that's again about creating a great post-purchase experience. And then the next thing is like, how do we get them excited about the product? Like make them excited to receive it. And of course you have to be careful with the timings here, because you want to make sure that they receive that email that gets them excited about receiving it before they receive it. And then of course you want to send an email, that's asking them for a review. And this is all automated. So you're creating a system for your reviews. So you're constantly getting reviews. But again, you want to be careful with the timing, because you want to make sure that they've received the product before you ask them for a review. And then you can even ask them to forward an email onto a friend, or to recommend the product to a friend. Or this could be the sequence where you say, hey, you bought this product, and people who buy this product usually love this product. And so you're then cross-selling and getting them to buy something else as well. And so the opportunity here is to create a great buying experience so they come back, buy again, or refer their friends and family to you.
Oh, this is so good. You just taught a masterclass, and I feel like anyone who has listened to this, even if they take away one of the 3 emails, they could make a sale this week. And so
exactly.
You are just so experienced in what you do. I'm so grateful. I mean, this is kind of a short episode. I feel like we need to have you come back on, because there's so much we didn't cover about copywriting, but I'm so glad you kicked us off with like such a actionable, like three steps or 3 emails. How can people take the next step with you? I know people are going to have a lot of questions for you. How can they find you?
Yes, absolutely. Come find me at emancopyco.com. I'm also on Instagram at emancopyco, and I do strategy sessions, like hour-long strategy sessions that give you like tailored recommendations for how what to put in your own emails, like how we can make this work for your emails, for your product, for your business. And of course, I also do done for you services. So I can write the emails for you if you're like, Eman, this sounds amazing, but I don't want to do this. Do it for me.
Oh, thank you so much for being on the show. And for all of you listening, I want to know, which of the 3 email sequences are you going to implement? If you know any small business owner, whether they make products or services that can benefit from this episode, please do share it with them. That's the only way people can find out about us. And thank you so much for listening.